My business gets my best patients, and my kids tend to get what's left. I can be so calm. I can stay calm through the chaos of business, through the chaos of work, through hard clients, conversation, through all those kind of like, that bit, I'm good. Somehow, with my own kids, with my own family, oh my gosh, my patience runs out so fast. Hi, I am Nene, and I help people become the person their goals actually requires them to be. And everything I share here is something that I've lived first. And if any of this sounds familiar, hit that subscribe button before we even really get into it, because what we do here every single day, in case you don't know, I show up here every single day, and I don't want you to miss, everything that's coming up and what's going on, right? And if you're ever wondered why you can't extend that grace that you give to strangers, you can't really to the people you love the most, then this one's for you. Let's talk about it. Because for me, wherever calm leaves naturally, uh versus where it goes missing my home. Like when I'm out and about, it's like I'm just a whole different person. It's just kind of like nothing phases me. Everyone's in the truth. I give people grace. That is just kind of like, yeah, just what naturally tends to happen. And especially me growing up, I grew up with predominantly women around me. I have two sisters. I had cousins who were also females and stuff like that, and relations that lived with us, like close in age with me, and like in the main home. And I had other relationships and stuff like men and cousins and stuff. And now I'm in my own house now, in my own home. My husband and I, we have four boys. The energy is different. The feeling is different. It's like they're very boisterous. And I remember the very beginning when they were growing up, the natural thing for boys to fight or play, to me, is like fight. But I don't know what they're doing. It's like gush, 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 gush. And every time I'm always like jumpy and like, how, like this. And got to the point where, like, you know what? No one come to me except there's blood. That was like my thing for them. Which is because it was always like I was always on edge, and I had to let my husband, like, that's boy stuff. I'm like, okay. It took me a while to kind of like get to like be cool to the point where now, like I said earlier, like when there's blood, you guys come, because it was just constant. Moving on, like how I was so like at work, patient, or like understanding, and just like giving people the benefit of doubt, or like just being okay, and just like, yeah, it's all right, it's okay, whatever it is, or just whatever. And then with my kids, and for my switching when I started showing up online and stuff like that, where I live in London, and it's a bit three-bed house, but still we can be on top of each other, especially like the spaces that I want to film in is like sometimes a living space or other, and they're there, and then you can see them by my camera there, and they're like, ooh, and like distracted. I'm like, oh my, can't you see? Or it's a case of like I'll finish recording and everything. I'm like, yeah, but and then as soon as my thing goes off, it's like, can't you see I was recording? Like seriously, like it's like a switch. And sometimes it will say something like, you see that voice you put on there? Like the code switch is real with my family. It's just kind of like, I- what's that about? What's going on? It's like the patience just goes out the window. It's like I'm so like irritated with them. So like, come on now, you should understand. I was just like, they're kids. They have no concept of where you're going. And when they're thinking we have to be on the same adult level, we should supposed to understand. And I gradually started knowing and learning that, look, and I have to always like remind myself as well that one thing that I get a lot when I'm out and about with people is like, man, I just love your energy. I love your thing and whatever and that. And I'm like, my kids, like, yeah, we just kind of like ask or stuff like that. And it's just, no. And it's the weirdest feeling when we kind of like, we talk about, because of like, I tell you, it could be the smallest thing and that would just, the frustration would just show up. The frustration would just, on me. And understanding and then, being reminded that, and what I've noticed for myself as well is like people do not remember, particularly what you said to them. They will remember how you made them feel. And with that feeling, in who, like when I'm out and about with clients and stuff like that, hence the repeat work, hence they want to like do stuff with you again, or they're always happy and cool with you. Then when I'm home, it's just kind of like, ugh, you can just see it's not like, I was going to use the word dread, but it's not like dread. It's just kind of like, okay, what have we done wrong now? What's that thing? You know, that feeling? And I'm like, no, I just did not want that to be my truth again. Honestly, it's one of those things that I'm just, I've been very ashamed to admit that that was like my thing, that, okay, this is what's showing up for me. Like the way I treat strangers is much better than how I'm treating my own kids. And how, like, what does that get to look like? And having an understanding and the reminder that these humans do not stay with you forever. They would form their own idea, their own thing about who you are and all those things. That if you don't behave, they'll remember that. So I had to start like, and my husband is so good at this. Like, put things down where you left it. Like, what's the, yes, it's not you, but is that supposed to be there, like how it is and stuff like that? And it's a case of just kind of like learning to just be like, look away sometimes. Look away. It's okay. Look away in what they're doing. Speak kindly. Um, and it's one of those kind of like, instead of it being frustration, like, why is this here? Why is this thing not done? And this, da, da, da. It's just kind of like, okay, now being intentional and looking at them and just like, I mean, now, like, two of my kids are adults now, technically. And I still have the younger ones, which, yeah, we can, you could say, like, I have a second play at this, that I can really now be more intentional in how I do stuff and how I, like, the frustration and whatever. And it's saying, like, just being mindful in my head and just like, and then I just count to whatever, just look away. It sometimes can be so hard, especially, oh, I can just do better myself. I can do this. And it's understanding and reminding myself constantly, they're kids, they're kids, they're kids. They actually came from you. So chill, Nene, chill. And I just started like choosing to just say, like, in my head, like, it's handled, it's cool, it's handled, it is handled. Because if not, the frustration of wanting them to just, because one, they don't get it or have the understanding of how things, what's happening. Is like, yeah, this is what I want, this is how things is, now. And it's also just reminding myself that, look, who am I being right now? Because I've noticed, like, sometimes we don't realize, like, even though I'm being very intentional, I'm being kind of like, my thing is, I have been there. I know what's kind of like technically good for you. So let's do it this way. My husband, on the other hand, is like, You do you. And then once your hand is bitten, and then we'll be like, I just don't want your hand to be bitten. Can you see the difference? He's like, and I get it. And this is the funny thing, is like, when I'm coaching someone, I like them to get to that conclusion themselves. But when I'm mentoring someone, I tell them as it is. And in my home, I do a lot of mentoring. I do like, I've been through life more than you have right now. And this is how it should flow. That's mentoring. And mentoring doesn't always work, especially down this way with my kids. And it's helping them to understand and get to that, oh, I see, okay. But the patience to allow that to happen is the struggle. And trying various techniques and various things and various, like, okay, this is what I said. What did you hear of what I said? And then realizing they have very selective hearing in what you said. Because in the past, I would have said something and then something happens. I'm like, what the heck? This, da, da, da. And then now I'm realizing that when I give an instruction, I actually make sure they understand the instruction. Even though they are reasonable, clever human beings, still they have very selective understanding of what's being said. So it's also taking that patience to get to the point of we are on the same understanding level for us to move on. If not, my idea of what I have said and what you think I have said, I then get frustrated. I don't get that patient with you. And then what that's doing is chipping on their self belief of self, their image, and all those things. And without realizing that, in a roundabout way, I'm tearing down my own being, my own person that I brought to this world without knowing. In a sense of, okay, I want stuff done this way. I want this to happen. But when what's coming out from your mouth every time is on the, oh, it's this word, like, why didn't it, and stuff like that. And then the irritation is like, I've said that, and it's chipping on their beliefs on self. And and this is what I talk to other folks, and I give other people grace about this. And I'm not extending that to my own home. And this summer has just made it to the point where, look, when my second one became an adult, I just realized, mate, things have to change. Like, I had to really bring it down. I'm in the season of slowing down to speed up, of really understanding and being patient that they understand where I'm coming from, and not just assuming they should know by now because we're in the same house and they see how I roll and how I handle stuff and the situation. And it's so funny, and just having that conversation with them about their feelings, about what's showing up, and realizing, oh my goodness, I am indirectly chipping in at my own kids' self-worth, self-belief, self-sustaining, whatever it is. And I go out there with my clients, and paid or not paid, I give so much grace and so much patience, there's so much understanding. And in my own home, not so much. So we are in the season of just redoing it. reworking it, building their own like serious self-esteem and building their own understanding, and yeah, just how to just, I was gonna say like just speak with kindness and stuff, and or whatever that is. Just laughing more and just doing their own stuff, you know, spending that time. Because I'm like, for starters, they don't have personal technology. They do have like a, what do they call that thing? PlayStation, which they tend to play together in time. It's not my thing. I'm not into the stuff like that. They watch and they're into whatever. So the main living room, we have stuff where they can watch. We need to see what we're watching. Obviously, when they're in school and stuff, you know, God knows what. But hopefully, they're sensible enough to do that. The thing is, it is actually the reverse. My husband is so patient and he's so understanding, and like he does like with them, and I'm just kind of like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's do this, let's do like, come on now, bring it on, bring it, let's go. And now it's just kind of like, at least let's understand that we're on the same page. You get what I'm saying? You understand this is why I'm doing this, so that this will happen, or so that this can support you, and da 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 da. Yes, that is new down this way. And sometimes I catch myself go, oh, no, bring it out. We're also developing like a safe word. We have a safe word to get that when they feel like it is getting too much, they say it. And sometimes they say, oh, place. I'm like, okay, I have to remind myself, like, we agreed on this, like, Nene, patience. Let's do this. Yeah, let's make this work. Because understanding that there will come a time when they would, you know, have to have their own, move to their own spaces, their own whatever, and saying that. I mean, this has been such a eye opener for me and them as well, because most of the videos I do, sometimes they hear what I'm talking about, and then sometimes will be, oh, I didn't know, da da da. It brings on a conversation, and it's like, oh, so why don't you kind of like, and then it's like, okay, let's work on that, let's do that. So that's kind of like another thing that's helping in this decision to be present, because they're not always going to be here. And um yeah, I mean, I come from, it's very interesting. I was having a conversation with one of my older ones, and it's like, you know what, I've never really heard you say that I love you to dad and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, I'm like, interesting. Like, it's just, I don't know if it's just a cultural thing as well, or if it's just whatever. But there is, they know. I said, but do you feel like that I love you and stuff and everything? It's like, oh yeah, just haven't heard the word. And it's a case of like, is that something that you want to hear more of or whatever? Because it's just, special occasions, like we have traditions, we just kind of like would say stuff like that, but like on a daily, it's not like, I don't know, it's not a thing. And I don't want, we'll find a way to like make it happen. I just don't want it to be like, oh, like, yes, we can then start doing uncomfortable things to make it comfortable, right? But it is one of those things. But it is one of like, if someone comes in now and I ask my kids how is your mom? They're like, oh, she's not like, and I don't want that to be like my truth at all. Hence the more now being so intentional about how I speak, how I approach them, how things are, being more patient and kind, and not treating, especially the younger ones, like adults, and like the irritation. And it's like there's been such great improvement, and there's still a way to go. And yeah, it's something that in this season of this evolving and changing, and the decision of being living in the person that I'm wanting to be, this is a season that I'm at right now. And yeah, so if you're, because every small decision right now is a vote to who I am becoming. So why don't I cast that vote in my own home as well? Cast that vote to the people that I love the most and the people that look up to me and are supporting me. So yes, hence now being also very intentional in how I show up mostly for the people that I love. And yeah, not just strangers in the internet or out in the world that I meet on a daily. So, do you personally find it easier to be calm with strangers than it is with your own family, or is it just a me thing, or is it just kind of like, no, no, I'm sorry, you're on your own there? Let me know in the comment section. Let's have that conversation. Let's, yeah, discuss what's what. We do this every single day. And remember that your voice matters and it is your time to use it. Bye for now.